Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. It is the start of another reading vlog. It is time for me to go to bed, but I thought I would get on here and just kind of get the vlog started and let you know the two books that I would like to concentrate on in at least the first couple of days. I am almost done with a couple of books, so Mine by Delilah S. Dawson. I am 61% into this one, and it's got the super creepy vibes. I really enjoying it. There's definitely some really kind of spooky, creepy haunted house type things going on, and I'm really enjoying it. Opposed to Blister by Jeff Strand, which is supposed to be an adult horror, and ain't nothing horror really been happening in this whole thing. I'm 64% into it, and we're just now like getting into a little bit of some kind of creepy thing going on. But I mean, come on, the middle grade books are outdoing the adult horror here at the moment. But yeah, I'm really close to getting this one done, so I really want to finish this one tomorrow. And I'd like to try to at least almost get finished with mine if I don't get finished. Depends on how much reading time I have or whatever. But yeah, these are the two that I'm going to kick off this vlog with and get these ones done. Hey everybody, it's Monday evening. It's around 5:30ish, I think. And I thought I would come on here and update y'all. I got a package in the mail that I can show you, and I finished Blistered by Jeff Strand. This book is not horror. Jeff Strand's a horror author, but this book is not horror. I don't really know what to classify this, except for maybe bizarre romance with a little suspense towards the end, and then it's just like romance. I mean, really. So it's about there's this girl. She got her face all messed up. Her boyfriend supposedly cut her face up and then blowtorched it, and that's her. So she's just all messed up and disfigured, and her father keeps her in this shed that he has on his property. It's like her own little place, but he doesn't let her go anywhere or do anything. She's just stuck there, and she's kind of like the town legend now. She was 18, around 18 when that happened, I think, and she's 23 now. So she's been there for a while, and so people call her Blister. And one night, this guy comes to town. He's a cartoonist. He messes up doing something, and so his agent sends him to his cabin to stay there and kind of just have a vacation and revamp and let everything cool off. And he's like in his late 30s. One night he's bored. He goes to the local bar. He gets drunk. There's a couple of young guys there that are drunk and stuff. They're like, hey, let's go show him Blister. And so they go and tell him to look in this window. Well, he looks in the window. He didn't know what he was doing. He was drunk, and he sees this girl, disfigured girl, and he like kind of goes, and backs up, and he's like, what is that? And then he hears her crying and stuff, and he's like, what did you guys show me? What is this? I don't get it. He leaves. He goes home. He wakes up. He's better in his head now that he's woke up, and he feels bad because he knows that was a girl in there, and that what he said was terrible, and so he decides to go back to there to apologize. And then he brings her an owl because he noticed that she liked owls. So he drew an owl because he's a cartoonist. And they kind of talk and everything. And he kind of, he was still a little put off by her disfigurement a little bit. But the more he talks to her, the more he knows that she's like a really nice girl, and she eventually tells him the story about what happened to her. Her father hates that he's there and doesn't like him coming there because he says it's going to cause trouble. And evidently the people in town don't even want him being there, but there's a certain person in particular that don't want him hanging around Blister, but everybody thinks he's weird and gross because he wants to hang around with her. But the more he hangs around with her, the more her disfigurement doesn't really bother him any and stuff. And it's more like towards probably the 60% mark in this book where something actually happens. And I don't want to say anything, but that was probably the most action part of the whole thing, was like this part. And then I thought the ending kind of drug out a little bit after things calmed down. It's like one thing happens after another, and then we got this kind of like lull at the end, and it was just, I don't know, it was strange. It's hard to explain a lot of the action type stuff without spoiling things from the book, but I know that some people are going to enjoy it. My friend enjoyed it more than I did. I said I would probably give this 2.75 stars, maybe 3 stars, but if it was, it's like a super low 3 stars, like it's like at the 3-star mark, not above. I was bored until we got to like kind of the more action type stuff that happened and the faster plot line, because I was thinking that this was going to be some kind of horror. In my mind, I thought she was going to be like some kind of like crazy person that probably was, like out there. Like maybe she was like a ghostly image of Blister or something, and anybody that's out in the cabins, maybe she goes after them in the woods. That's what I was thinking, because it's horror. I wasn't thinking it was going to end up being some kind of love story. No. So, yeah. So I just didn't like it as much as like my friend did. And she knew that. She goes, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to like it more than me. And she usually knows when she's pretty right about that stuff most of the time. Though I think we're both in the horror book club, and so we both had to read that, and we both had to read the Last House on Needless Street. And I kind of thought she would like that one more than me because she likes weird stuff, but she's not liking it. So I don't feel so bad about not liking that one, because usually if she doesn't like something, then I know I'm probably not going to like it. And since I didn't like this one, I just figured she might like it. But, that's how it goes sometimes. But I got some Bookish Mail, I believe, and so I'm going to open it. I think I know what this is, but I'm not sure, but I think I know what it is. So I thought I'd just open it here where y'all can see it. Oh, it is not what I thought it was going to be. So this is super cool, because I got something I didn't know I was getting. This is awesome. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, anyway. It's Spy School graphic novel by Stuart Gibbs. Y'all know I've been reading this series and everything, and I'm almost done with it. I've got, I think, 2 more to go, and then I'll be either caught up or finished, because I don't know if it's a finished series or not, but I do know that the latest one came out this year, and I have an arc of it, and I need to get to it, so I've been trying to get through to get to it, and so now I got this to work on too. This is so cool. Look at this. Cool graphics. Isn't it cool? How exciting. When does it come out? Oh, it comes out February of next year. So I have my first 2022 actual arc type book. So that's like super cool. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to update right now. I'm still working on mine. I haven't really read any of it today. I just finished Blister. I wanted to get it finished and out of the way. And I didn't have a whole lot of reading time yet, but now that I'm upstairs and I'm settled down, I'm going to work on. Hello everybody, it's Tuesday night and I thought I would come in and do an update because last night I finished a book, but I just didn't want to get back on, so I just thought I'd save it for today. And so I finished Mine by Delilah S. Dawson last night, and I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really fun, spooky middle grade book. It's about Lily, her family. Well, okay, so back up. Lily is a bit of a drama queen. She, and I mean that in the literal sense. Like, she loves drama and acting and stuff like that. But sometimes she takes it a little too far. So she's a little over dramatic about things. Like, everything in her daily life, she's just over dramatic about stuff. Like, the beginning of this, it starts out, oh, I'm dying type of thing. Like, she's dying. This is horrible. She's just dying because she doesn't want to move. And they're at their new house and everything. But it's kind of her fault why they had to move. And you find out about that a little bit further on in the story, so I'm not going to say. But, yeah. So her father is not particularly happy about her being very dramatic because it had something to do with her being dramatic and everything. And he's had enough. He's kind of had it up to here with her drama. And so is the mother a little bit too. And so they get to this house, and it's a hoarder's house. So that is just, it's disgusting. Just that part alone was kind of like horror. It was just, they thought the house was going to be cleaned up a little bit better than it was, but it wasn't. It was nasty, and they go in there, there's boxes piled everywhere and all this stuff. So Lily and her mother ends up having to do most of the cleaning because the father, as soon as he got there, he had a new job that he had to go to. So it's pretty much their responsibility to clean the house, which she is not happy to be spending her summer cleaning the house, especially when it's really gross. And you can tell that her mom is not extremely happy with the state of the house either, and they have a lot of arguments and things. But she goes and she decides, well, she's going to clean out her room that she gets, and there was a child there before, and she, notices some things, and that there must have been a girl named Brittany because Brittany was written in some books, and it was kind of sad because there was a snake in a terrarium, but it was like it was like the skeleton because it just nobody there to feed it, and it died. And that was kind of sad, even though I'm not a big snake person. That was kind of sad. But yeah, so it's like she doesn't know. I mean, what happened to this girl that she would just like leave all this stuff here and her pet and everything. And there's a bunch of stuffed animals and all that stuff. So she's just grabbing all this stuff and cleaning out the room. Their stuff is stuck in a kind of a cargo container thing. They had to pack everything real quick and move, and so there's a container supposed to be coming to them that has all their stuff in it, but it doesn't come very quick. And so yeah, so they just was able to bring just a certain amount of stuff. They did bring some bedding and things like that, but they were all tired and everything. So that first night she ended up sleeping like on the floor because she didn't want to sleep on this person's bed with it's all dusty and nasty, and it's somebody else's sheets and blankets, and it's all like gross because it's been there for a long time. And so she sleeps on the floor, but then eventually she gets her own bedding, and she flips the mattress over, and then she like freaks out because on the mattress, in like it looks like ash or whatever, it's written is mine, and like she's freaking out, and she shows it to her mother, but her mother's just like, I know you don't want to be here, but quit trying to be dramatic and everything. And so she's like, but I didn't do that. Some other things start happening to her. A lot of things that you would see in like a horror movie starts happening. One day she's in the bathroom and like all this gross stuff starts coming out of the sink in the shower, and it's overflowing and it's coming after her, and she can feel it, and it's all gross, and she screams, and her mom comes running, and she's like, what the heck, why are you screaming? And when she looks around, like it's all back to normal, and she's like, this, and she's like, will you please quit being dramatic and stuff? And so I felt a little sorry for her, because it's kind of like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like, she's been so dramatic with her life and everything that she's done before. Like, if she was to tell a story, it was a production. And so her parents don't believe anything, and I thought it was sad, because like they won't believe her when she says there's a ghost in the house, she's being haunted. They just think she's being dramatic and stuff. So, a lot of things happen and everything, and she pretty much is on her own trying to figure out why there's this girl is like haunting her, who the girl was, what happened to her, and what it is that she wants so that she'll like go away. And so it was really good. My only one thing that I don't necessarily like, and it's my own opinion about things, but I'm not a fan of Ouija boards, and I don't think a Ouija board should be in a children's book, because I don't think they are a child's toy, and I don't think that kids who read this should get that, oh, I should try playing with a Ouija board. That's just me. I've had my own like experience with that kind of stuff, and I do not like them. And that's the only part that I didn't like out of this. It's fun for TV or an adult horror or something. I just don't think it should be in a kid's book. But that's me. But that's my only drawback on this. I really enjoyed it. And so I gave it 4 stars. It might have got a little bit higher, except for the whole like Ouija board thing that I didn't like. But yeah, I would probably even maybe give this like 4.5. But yeah, I knocked some off but that's my personal preference. And so like it might not bother you. And so you might like this even more. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I am adding another book to my rotation, and that is Faithless by Hunter Shea. This is an adult horror book, and it's the book that me and my friend are buddy reading, and that we are going to be posting on our blogs, because we both have blogs, because that's all she has is a blog. And we do this thing called 2 bloggers, 1 book, or 2 bloggers and 1 series if we're doing series reads. So this is ours for this month. Even though we were reading some other books together, this is the one that we're going to concentrate on for our blog. And the month is getting away from me, and I'm like, we really need to like throw this into the bunch, because we're not going to have time to read it if we don't. So I'm only like 6 or 7% into this, I think. I could be. Well, I read a little bit. Oh, I'm 9% into it. Okay. I was going to say, I read a little bit more, so I couldn't be. But yeah, 9% into this. The first couple of chapters are really rough. And I will say, for like trigger warnings for anybody who wants to read this book, if you have children, or you're, really kind of a child's death or things like that get to you, then you may not want to read this book, because it's about a father. His name was his father, Raoul something, and he's an Episcopal priest, I believe. And he was on his way home. He had to go to another parish, and he was on his way home. He's like 6 miles from home. It's raining really hard. He decides to call his wife and talk to her, kind of like calm him down while he's driving and stuff, because it's like pouring down. And in the middle of talking to her, somebody busted into their house, and he could hear everything that was going on, and he's screaming and hollering at him. And so basically his whole family, his wife and his 2 kids, were killed while he was listening to it on the phone. And so now he's decided he's not going to be a priest anymore. He's going to be moving into like his aunt's house or something. So he's going somewhere else. That's as far as I've gotten. But I think this is supposed to be kind of like a haunted house situation type thing, I think. I forgot. It's been a while since I read the blurb, but like I said, that's all as far as I've gotten. So like right now he's getting ready to move, and so that's as far as I've gotten. So yeah, but I just thought I would mention that in case anybody is interested in this book. Also, I'm putting into the mix a book because I kind of forgot. I had it for a review to go on my blog, and I have a certain day that I have to post it, and it's next week. So I thought I better throw it in there now so that I can get it read before I'm supposed to have it up on my blog. And that is How Do You Live by, I'll put a picture here. I'm probably going to butcher this name because it's like Japanese, I think. And so it's like Ginzaro Yoshino? Yoshino? I don't know. You'll picture here because, yeah. But anyway, I think it's supposed to be like a Japanese, it's a Japanese favorite that's been translated. It's like a beloved child book, I think. And basically it's a coming to age story. And it's a little slower than I would care for. I'm like 30% into it. And I like it when it's like the kid stuff, but I think basically it's supposed to be about the bond between Copper and his uncle, because his uncle is always writing him letters or writing in a book, so like whenever he is older he can reflect back on this book and everything, and it's like a journal. And so you get that, and it's a lot of philosophy stuff and like Newton's theory of, like, gravity and all them kind of things they talk about. And then you got Copper and his friends and like day-to-day school stuff. And so it's just really just a coming of age. I think I get bogged down a little bit in the uncle's stuff because it's just a little too philosophical for a kid's book, I think. I don't know, but it's boring, that part. But other than that, it's not that bad. And like I'm 30% into it, and like, I mean, not a lot of stuff has happened. It's just about this kid and things that happen at school and him talking to his uncle, pretty much. And I've also made some progress in The Invisible Life of Addy Larue by V. Schwab. I am 62% into it now. Still don't get the hype, but I still keep going. Basically, it's because I'm using this for a prompt in the All's Hallows Eve's Carnival challenge that I'm doing, and it was to read a book that everybody loves, so I'm reading it. I knew I wouldn't really like this, that's why I haven't picked it up yet, so I think I'm going to not like it, just like I thought I would not like it. But other than that, that's about all I've done. All I'm reading right now. That's all I like. And I need to start listening to Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, because I haven't started that yet. So I will probably listen to some of that tonight before I go to bed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody, it is 6 o'clock on Thursday evening. I didn't update yesterday because I finished a book, but it was like late and I just didn't want to get on. And then today I've had like a super busy day. Most of you that are in the Discord group with me know that my dad had to have a procedure done today, so we were up at the hospital early this morning, and then when we got done, he wanted to go get his belly full of food, so we went and got something to eat at one of our favorite Chinese places. And while we were up in Joplin, he was feeling okay and everything, so we went to a couple places, a bookstore, because they have on the outside, they have books that you can get for donation. And this month's donation is going to buy socks for inmates. And so I thought I'd go up there and check and see if they had anything on the outside that I thought was interesting. And I did find some things. And I'm a bad vlogger because I totally forgot to like get film of it. And then we went to the Restore and I got some books there because you can get like 10 books for $1. And I would do like a book haul, but I'm just like not in the mood. So I have some other books to haul, so I'm just gonna do it all and put it in a video. So you might either see the video before this or after this. I'm not sure. It depends on whenever I get it done. But yeah, so just know that there is one of those happening. And then I don't feel like reading anymore, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and give you an update and then kind of lounge around. So I finished The Invisible Life of Addy Larue. Yep, finished it. Do I like it? No, not really. I would say probably about 2 stars. I don't really get the hype. I know this is a lot of people's favorites, which is the reason I read it. And me and my friend are reading it, and I finished before she did. And she says that she likes it, but she doesn't have the want to pick it up. So I told her I think she doesn't like it quite as much as she thought she did, or she would want to read it. But yeah, we were both reading it for the same challenge because we're both in the TBR and Beyond group, and they're doing this All Hallows Eve Carnival challenge. And one of the prompts was to read a book that everybody either loves or hates, but there's not a whole lot of middle ground. And it seems like everybody absolutely loves this book, though I know there are some people that don't like it. But it seems like for the most part, everybody I know like really likes this book. I just don't see why. But I also knew this was not my type of read. I mean, I've listened to people talk about it enough that I didn't figure I would ever pick it up and read it. It just didn't sound like something I would read. And I was right. If I wasn't reading it for this challenge, I probably would have DNF'd it and just took it back to the library. But I persevered and I finished. And it goes back and forth in like timelines between France, like back in like the, I think it's like the 1800s? Oh, well, no, actually, it starts out in a 1714. So yeah, so you're in France in like 1714, and then it goes to like New York in 2014, and then it goes back to like France, and then it goes back to New York, and back to France, and back to New York. And that's not really the kind of thing that I care about. I don't like going back and forth. So that was one mark against it. But yeah, so you get the story of Addy Larue and why she pretty much sold her soul to the devil because she was trying to escape getting married to some guy that she didn't want to marry. And she wanted to be able to live her life the way she wanted to live it. But the way she asked for what she asked for, it gave the dark man in the shadows it gave him leeway also to do what he wanted with her request. And so she's going to live forever pretty much, but nobody remembers her. So, and she can't even say her own name, so she has to make up names along the way. Every time she tries to say, you know, Addy or anything like that, it gets stuck like in her throat and she can't say it. She's can't like draw herself. She can't, you know, she can't do anything that would make her seen, or pretty much, or whatever. Like, so she had pretty much made her way through life stealing things from other people because she could do it, and then as long as she could get enough time in between them, or enough space in between them, then they would start to forget her, and then they would forget why they were trying to chase after her in the first place and stuff. So it's kind of a miserable way to live. And then, of course, one day she meets somebody who remembers her, and then you kind of get that person's story and some things, and then there's like a little twisty thing at the end. But I kind of had it figured out what was pretty much going to happen. But yeah, it's just not my thing. So basically, so there's that. I did start a little bit on A Discovery of Witches. I didn't get very far, but I think I'm like 7. Yeah, I'm on chapter 7, so I've gotten a little bit into this. And I can't remember where I left off whenever I talked to you about this one, but I'm reading Faithless by Hunter Shea, and I'm about 15-16% into it. It's okay. It's a little slow. I'm a little bummed because I love Hunter Shea. But you know, even your favorite authors have those books that you just don't really care for that much. This could be one, but I'm hoping it's not. It says something is in the house. He's in the house, and so hopefully something's going to happen that's going to be cool. But I don't know. I've seen some reviews, like I've looked at a little bit, and some people were a little disappointed in like what was happening. Then other people gave it like 5 stars. So you never know. It could pick up and I could like it. Hopefully I do. But we'll see. And I went ahead and added Crota by Al Going Back. And that cover is just so creepy. To my lineup of books, because this is for one of the Carnival reads, and it's for read a book from a POC author. This is a Native American, and I was kind of curious about it because it's kind of it looks like a werewolf kind of creature story. I mean, at least that's what that looks like. And I really like those kind of stories. And I was really curious about this guy, and it's kind of short. Like, I'm already about 13 or 14% into it, and I just started it this morning while I was in the waiting room waiting for my dad to get out of his procedure. So, yeah, it started out really cool. Like, this kid was on his bike or motorcycle, and it ran out of gas, and he was upset because he had a date, and then there was something in the woods, and it was chasing him, and he was running, and then he finds a car, and he's trying to, flag the car down, but he ran too fast. He got hit by the car. And then he's like, there's some creature like chasing, and then the creature gets him. So started out really good. So now the police are trying to figure out what in the world happened to these people, because they were like slashed up, and they're like, whatever. They think, naturally you're thinking that somebody killed them, and boy, what in the world did they use to kill them with? Because so the police are trying to figure that kind of stuff out. One of the things I like about this is that it's set in Missouri, and I don't read a lot of books set in Missouri, and so since I'm from Missouri, I think that's kind of cool to read a book that's set in Missouri. So that was cool. But yeah, this one, I think it's only like 250 something pages, so I should be able to get it done. The reason I decided to throw it into the mix is because the month is going by, and like after this week there's like only like 1 week left, and I'm like, where in the world did October go? And I have all these books that I wanted to read, so I went ahead and threw it into the mix. And then I'm still reading, let's see, and I'm also still reading on How Do You Live by Ginzaro Yoshino. I'm probably butchering the author's name. I probably shouldn't even try. But I am, let's see, around 54%, it looks like. And it's not really my thing, but I did agree to review it for a blog post, and so I I have that post coming up next week, so I need to get through it. It's been kind of like easy to get through, like I'm already like halfway through it, but it's it's a coming of age story, and that part's kind of cool. Like I like it when the four boys are together and doing things. But then you have the uncle, because like the uncle's trying to like help the boy mature and be a good person, and he writes these really long journal entries and stuff, and they're just kind of boring. But whenever it's the kids, I like that part. So it's just kind of like okay. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I've got going right now. And I think I'm going to go and kind of just relax, kind of mess around on the computer, watch some TV, and just probably not read too much tonight. It is Sunday. I forgot to wrap this up yesterday so that I could get it uploaded today. So hopefully I will have this up on Sunday. But yeah, I just want to come and wrap everything up and just kind of go over what I read and my ratings again, just to kind of get a final thing going here. So hopefully I don't ramble too much. Blister by Jeff Strand. This one is not a horror book. It's a bizarre romance with a little suspense part at the end. Did not like it. So slow. 2 stars. Mine by Delilah S. Dawson. 4 stars. Very good, middle grade, spooky. There was only one problem I had with it, which I discussed earlier on in a clip that you would have saw. But other than that, I enjoyed it. It was spookier than any of the adult horror I've read so far this month, which is sad. Then I got through The Invisible Life of Addy Larue by V.E. Schwab. I don't understand the hype, but that's okay. You do you. You like it, that's fine. I didn't. It was boring. Gave it 2 stars. Then I read The Big Four by Agatha Christie. I did this for the Wonkathon purple cover. I'll show you the purple cover that I'm using because I did listen to it on audiobook and the audio had the purple on the cover. This is just the book that I actually have that I wanted to be able to hold here. And I followed along with it. I think it's cool because it's got blue edges. Anyway, this is probably my least favorite Agatha Christie book. This is my 5th Perot book because I'm doing it in order. And so this is book number 5. I have read 6 Agatha Christie's. One of them was a standalone that was, and there were none. So out of all of the books, this is my least favorite. And out of the Perot books, this is the worst one. The next to the worst one, I think, that I've read is Perot Investigates, which was just a series of short stories. And it was number 3. And I thought that was really strange that number 3 was just a series of short stories. Kind of strange. But this one was worse. So it got bumped up one. And yeah, it was just strange because it's not a usual book for Perot. He's about to go to South America. He's getting ready to leave. This guy comes. He's like half dead. And he keeps writing like this number 4. He's talking about number 4. And so he's got to try to figure it out. Got to use his little gray cells. And he comes to figure out that it's something about the Big Four, and it's a group that is trying to take over the world. It says, let's see what it says. Oh, and you have the Big Four. Their goal was simple: to rule the world, and the way was clear. All they had to do was get rid of Hercule Poirot, which of course they couldn't. And yeah, so it was just kind of strange. It was kind of like a spy novel, kind of. He was trying to figure out all the stuff that they were wanting to do. I didn't like it enough, and I think I just didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it because I didn't care. And then I read somebody's review that they said that this book was originally posted in as like a magazine series, and so maybe she was trying to do something a little different there, and that's why it's a little choppy and just feels different. But yeah, it does feel like a spy novel. Usually with the Perot books, you know, like somebody's murdered and then he has to try to figure out who it was with the list of suspects that you have. And that's what I like in a mystery. I didn't like this, got this big four, and I mean, he has to find their lair and do all this stuff. And yeah, it didn't feel right. And I didn't like it. But that's okay. Anyway, moving on. Oh, 2 stars, I think. I've had a lot of 2-star reads this month. So I think overall this has been my like worst reading month. Though I have read some good ones, but I've just read a lot of bad ones too. Okay, so the lighting might be a little different because it's gotten a little darker and it's been raining and I might be in a different spot. But I was getting ready to upload this, and then I remembered that I forgot to talk about a book that I read. So I wanted to throw it up here real quick. That's Spy School Revolution by Stuart Gibbs. It's the 8th book in the Spy School series, so I have one more book to go and I'll be all caught up. And this one was cute. It was 3 stars. I enjoyed it. It was so this one they have like new villains, and at the beginning some things have happened in the ones I can't really talk too much about some things. So some things have happened, and so at the beginning it has been um, with his parents, and something is going on, and I can't really say. I won't say, but anyway, uh, the place where Ben's at kind of gets attacked, and they see that it's Erica on the TV, the monitors, so they think Erica has gone to the other side. But Erica is like a diehard like spy. She would never do that kind of things, and Ben knows that, and so he doesn't believe. He knows that there's got to be a reason why she did what she did, and so he's kind of waiting for her to like contact him and tell him what it is, why she did what she did. And then you find out later why things happen, but and everything. So they're trying to solve the puzzle with this new group of criminals, and a lot of it has to do with the George Washington document and the fact that he had like some of the first spy group and things like that. And then you've got this group that they say that have been around that long since then and stuff, but they've been so secret. Then you have the CIA trying to find Erica because they think she is a traitor and all this stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this one, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. It's still like the quirky, fun, spy school book, and so I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. Like I said, it was a lot of fun, and I can't believe that I'm finally almost caught up with this, because I actually started this series probably in the middle of the year, and so I'm almost caught up with it. So yay, that'll be one off my SAS list. And so there's that. And okay, anyway, so I think that's everything that I read. And so what I'm still working on, Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. This is a re-listen because I'm listening to it. I've listened to it, I've read it, and I'm listening to it again. I like it that much. See? And yeah, I'm about almost halfway through it. I love Matthew and Diana. They're like my favorite people. I could probably reread this again even after I've read it. I just really like it. I don't know why, because it's probably, like, I know a lot of people think that it was just really boring. It was full of a lot of sciencey stuff, and it was kind of slow paced and things like that. So you would think that I wouldn't like it, But I don't know what it is about it, but it's just like a magnet. I love it. It just keeps coming back. Anyway, moving on. Still working on Crota by Al. Going back, I'm about 24% into it. I'm really liking it. It's pretty cool. I like the Native American folklore and just all that kind of jazz. And it's got a creature in it, which is the thing I love. Still a little disappointed in this one. I am still reading Hunter Shea, Faithless by Hunter Shea. And yeah, it's really slow. And pretty much I'm about 23%, and all it's been about is after the guy got to the cabin is he's drinking and drinking and more drinking and taking pills and drinking and taking pills and drinking because he's trying to forget the fact that his family has been killed, and he's drinking. And I don't need pages and pages of that. I don't. And that's just boring. And he thinks he's hearing some things, but is he really hearing actual things, or is it because he's like half out of his mind from drinking and taking pills? I don't know, and I don't care. So hopefully it gets better, or probably going to be like the worst Hunter Shea book I've ever read. And that's sad because he's my favorite. Still working on How to Live by the author that I can't pronounce his name. And I'm about 54% into it. Got to finish it up because it's one of the first books that I need to work on for next week. And it's still okay. It's middle of the road. I really like the four boys, but when the uncle's doing his journal talking thing, it gets boring. But other than that, I do like the kids part of it. So we'll see how it goes by the end of it. So yeah, that's it. That's everything. I'll probably end up adding more books into what I'm into the mix, but you'll see that next week. And so I'm just going to say, if you've read any of these books, let me know what you think about them down in the comments. I know a lot of people have, out of all these, probably read The Invisible Life of Addy Larue. So let me know if you liked it or if you didn't like it like me. Because there's got to be more of the ones that didn't like it like me out there. I know there's got to be. Gotta be. Yeah. So anyway, hope you liked this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.